Good morning students, this is Latif sir. Today in this video I am continuing the chapter 5 of class 11th chemistry. The topic is state of matters, gaseous state and liquid state. Okay, gases and liquids. So in this video today I'll discuss about Graham's law of diffusion, Dalton's law of partial pressure and Van der Waals equation and how to liquefy a gas. Okay, so first see Graham's law of diffusion. You know what is diffusion? Diffusion is the intermixing of two or more gases, is known as diffusion, intermixing of two or more gases. And according to Graham's law of diffusion, under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, under identical conditions of temperature and pressure, the rate of diffusion of gases is inversely proportional to square root of their densities. Rate of diffusion, suppose the density of the gas is d and rate of diffusion is r, then you can write according to Graham's law of diffusion, rate of diffusion r is inversely proportional to its square root of density. Okay, and this is the mathematical expression for Graham's law. Okay, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to its square root of its density. Now if two gases, if their densities are d1 and d2, okay, for two gases if their densities are d1 and d2 and their rate of diffusion are r1 and r2, then you can write according to Graham's law of diffusion, you can write r1 by r2 is equal to root over d1 by d2. If two gases having density d1 and d2 and their rate of diffusion is r1 and r2, then you can write r1 by r2 is equal to root over d2 by d1. This is for two gases. Okay, so if r1 and r2 are rate of diffusion of any two gases under whose densities are d1 and d2 respectively, then according to Graham's law of diffusion, for two gases you can write r1 by r2 is equal to root over d2 by d1. r1 by r2 is equal to root over d2 by d1. Okay, and you know density is directly related to directly proportional to molecular rate, or molecular rate is directly proportional to its density. Okay, and the exact relation between density and vapor density and molecular rate, we know that m is equal to 2d, and density and vapor density is directly proportional, that is we can write m is equal to 2d. Capital D is the vapor density of the gas. Okay, and we know molecular weight of the gas is equal to 2 into its vapor density, and vapor density is directly proportional to its absolute density. Okay, so we can write m is equal to 2d, or d is equal to m by 2, or d is equal to m by 2. Okay, so just write, instead of d1 and d2, write m2 and m2 by m2 divided by 2 and m1 divided by 2. That is, after putting this value we will get the relation r1 by r2 is equal to m2 by m1. This is the relation between uh, rate of diffusion of two gases with their molecular weight, that is r1 by r2 is equal to m2 by m1. Okay, so according to this equation we can write, that is r is inversely proportional to square root of its molecular weight. Okay, according to this relation we can write rate of diffusion of a gas is inversely proportional to its square root of its molecular weight. Okay, so another statement of Graham's law of diffusion can also be stated that rate of diffusion of gases is inversely proportional to the square root of their molecular mass. That is, rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of its molecular mass m. Okay, so if if the molecular rate of a gas is high, then rate of diffusion will be low. Okay, if the molecular rate is low, then rate of diffusion will be high. Okay, for example two gases CO2 and O2. CO2 has higher molecular weight than O2, so rate of diffusion of O2 will be higher than rate of diffusion of CO2. Okay, this is because molecular rate of CO2 is more than molecular rate of O2, and we know that rate of diffusion is inversely proportional to square root of their molecular weight. If molecular weight is high, then rate of diffusion will be low. That's why rate of diffusion of CO2 is less than rate of diffusion of O2. Now see one more important law, Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton's law of partial pressure. Dalton law of partial pressure states that the total pressure of a mixture of gases, and these gases are non-reacting gases. Okay, so Dalton's law of partial pressure states that the total pressure of mixture of gases is equal to the sum of the partial pressure of the component gases. If you give a mixture of different gases, non-reacting gases, they are non-reacting with each other in a container, in a closed container, then the total pressure within the container, total gas pressure within the container will be the sum of partial pressure of individual gases. Okay, that is, total pressure of the gas mixture will be equal to sum of the total pressure of the gas mixture will be equal to sum of the partial pressure of individual gases. Okay, this is according to Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, so Dalton's law of partial pressure state that the total pressure of mixture of gases, and you have to remember that these gases are non-reacting to each other. Okay, so Dalton's law of partial pressure state that the total pressure of a mixture of gases is equal to the sum of partial pressure of the component gases. Okay, so you can write, according to Dalton's law partial pressure, you can write total pressure of the gas mixture is equal to pressure partial pressure of gas 1, partial pressure of gas 2, partial pressure of gas 3, like this. And Dalton's law can also be expressed using the mole fraction, and the relation between partial pressure of individual gases and mole fraction of that gas is P gas 1 is equal to x1 into total pressure. Okay, so we can, in general, we can write that is partial pressure, that is Pi of a gas of ith gas. Pi is a partial pressure of ith gas is equal to mole fraction of ith gas into total pressure. Okay, so this is the relation between partial pressure and total pressure and mole fraction of the gas. Okay, partial pressure of the gas is equal to mole fraction of that gas into total pressure of the gas mixture. This is according to Dalton's law, and you have to solve some numerical problem based on this Dalton's law of partial pressure. Okay, and you know how to calculate mole fraction. To calculate mole fraction, first you have to know mole number. Okay, after calculating mole number, you can calculate mole fraction, because mole fraction of a gas is equal to mole number of that gas divided by total number of moles present in the solution, present in the mixture. Mole fraction of a gas is equal to mole number of that gas in the mixture divided by total number of mole in the mixture. Okay, so first you have to calculate mole number, and you also know that how to calculate mole number. If mass is given, then you can convert the mass into mole number by dividing the given mass by its molecular mass or molecular weight. Okay, for example, if 88 gram carbon dioxide is present, 88 gram CO2 means how many moles? 1 mole CO2 means 44 grams, so 88 gram CO2 means 2 moles CO2, that is 88 divided by 44. 44 is the molecular weight of CO2. Okay, so if you divide the given mass of the substance by its molecular mass, then you will get the mole number. Now see kinetic theory of gases. Kinetic theory of gases. The main postulates or assumption of the kinetic theory of gases are: first, a gas consists of large number of small particles and these are known as molecules. A gas consists of large number of small particles and these are known as molecules, and volume occupied by gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. Here each gas molecule is considered as a point. Okay, and the volume occupied by a gas molecule is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. Okay, and third point, there is a continuous rapid random motion of gas molecules, and the molecules collide with each other and with the wall of the container. That's why gases can exert pressure on the wall of containers. And fourth point, the molecules are perfect elastic bodies and there is no loss of kinetic energy during collision. That is, the collision between particles among the particles and collision between particles and walls is totally elastic collision. That is, there is no loss of kinetic energy during the collision. And fifth point, there are no attractive forces between the gaseous molecules. There is no attractive forces between the gaseous molecules. And sixth point, the pressure exerted by a gas is due to the bombardment of gas molecules against the wall of the container. I have already told. The pressure exerted by a gas is due to the bombardment of gas molecules against the wall of the container. And the last point is the kinetic energy. The last point, the different molecule possess different velocities and different energies, and the average kinetic energy of the gas molecules is proportional to absolute temperature. That is, kinetic energy of the gas molecule is proportional to absolute temperature T. Kinetic energy is proportional to absolute temperature, and the actual relation is kinetic energy of the gas molecules is equal to 3 by 2 RT. Okay, 3 by 2 RT. So total seven postulates or assumptions are given here, and out of this seven postulate number 2 and postulate number 5, in these two postulates there are some faults. Okay, and these assumptions are only valid for ideal gas. Okay, these seven assumptions are valid only for ideal gases. Okay, and for real gases these two assumptions you have to make correction, because these two are faulty assumptions. That is the point number 2, volume occupied by a gas molecule is negligible as compared to total volume of the gas, but in reality the volume occupied by a gas is not negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. And point number 5 is also faulty assumption, and there is no attractive forces between the gaseous molecule. But in the previous video I have already told that there are some some forces of attraction exist among the gaseous molecule also, and these forces are known as van der Waals forces. Dipole force of attraction, dipole induced force of attraction, London force. These forces of attraction are exist among the gas molecules. Okay, so point number 2 and point number 5, assumption number 2 and assumption number 5, there are some fault in this assumption, in these two assumptions. Okay, and you remember that you cannot neglect the volume of the gas as compared to the volume of the container. Okay, because gaseous molecule have some volume. Okay, although it is very small, but they have some volume, and there are some force of attraction exist between the gas molecules. Okay, and this assumption I have told that these assumptions are valid for ideal gases. Okay, and for real gases you have to make correction the point number 2 and point number 5. Okay, so and according to point number 7, see that kinetic energy of gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature, and the exact relation between kinetic energy of gas is and absolute temperature T is kinetic energy is equal to 3 by 2 RT. Okay, this is kinetic energy per mole of gas, and average kinetic energy per molecule of gas is 3 by 2 kT. This is for per 3 by 2 kT kinetic energy is equal to 3 by 2 kT. Kinetic energy per molecule of gas is 3 by 2 kT, and kinetic energy per moles of gas is 3 by 2 RT. Okay. Now see, deviation from ideal behavior. Deviation from ideal behavior in nature, maximum gases or all gases, they show non-ideal behavior. Okay, maximum gases are non-ideal. So deviation from ideal behavior at very high pressure and low temperature, at very high pressure and at low temperature, the gases deviate considerably from the ideal behavior. Okay, and you know that gases behaves like ideal gas at very high temperature and very low pressure, but at high pressure and low temperature the gases deviates considerably from the ideal behavior, and the deviation from ideal behavior can be measured or can be expressed in terms of compressibility factor Z. Okay. So we know that for ideal gas, we know the ideal gas equation Pv is equal to nRT, but for real gas this equation is not valid, and for real gas we can write Pv is equal not is equal to nRT. Pv not is equal to nRT for real gas. Okay, and to correct to measure the deviation from ideal behavior, we can write, we can take the help of compressibility factor Z. Okay, and for real gas we can write Pv is equal to some constant, that is compressibility factor into nRT, where Z is known as compressibility factor, and this factor is the measures of deviation of real gases from ideal behavior. Okay, and the value of Z is 1 for ideal gas. The value of Z is 1 because for ideal gas Pv is equal to nRT and Z is 1, and for real gas the Z is not equal to 1. Okay, so for real gases Z has different values from 1, so Z is equal to Pv by nRT. Now real gases can show two type of deviation. One is negative deviation, another is positive deviation. Okay, if Z is less than 1, the gas is more compressible, then the negative deviation is we will found the negative deviation when Z is less than 1, and if Z is greater than 1, then the gas is less compressible. Okay. And graphically you can show that for we know that the pressure as we know that pressure versus volume graph, or PV versus P graph, or PV versus P graph for ideal gas, which is parallel to pressure axis. PV versus P graph which is parallel to P axis for ideal gas, we know that, but for real gas the plot PV versus P plot is different from ideal gas. Okay, for some real gases PV versus P values increases from the beginning as pressure increases, and for few gases the PV versus P values first decreases then increases. Okay, so two type of deviation we will found in case of non-ideal gases. Okay, and the deviations can be measured in terms of compressibility factor or Z. And according to for non-ideal solution, I have already told before some time, for non-ideal solution we can write Z Pv is equal to Z into nRT, or Z is equal to nRT Pv by nRT. Z is equal to Pv by nRT, and if we plot Z versus pressure graph, okay, Z versus pressure, it will look like this. For some gases the value of Z increases with pressure from the beginning. for nitrogen gas, for hydrogen gas, for helium gas, for hydrogen, helium, for these lighter gases, the value of Z increases from the beginning as pressure increases, and for few gases like CO2, CH4O2, the value of Z first decreases with pressure and then increases. First decreases and then increases. And for ideal gas, the Z versus P graph is, this is the straight line is the for ideal gas. Okay, this is for ideal gas. Okay, so real gases shows two type of deviations. One is positive deviation. When value of Z is greater than 1, then it is positive deviation. Okay, so real gases show positive deviation from ideality when Z is greater than 1. Okay, and for these gases like hydrogen, helium, Z is greater than 1. And the gases show negative deviation when Z is less than 1. And for these gases, below this pressure, and these gases O2, CH4, CO2, these gases shows negative deviation, that is value of Z is less than 1. Okay, below this pressure. And for in different gases, value of compressibility factor is different. So graphically you can show the variation in compressibility factor with pressure, and compressibility factor is the measure of deviation from ideal behavior for different gases. Okay, now see the cause of deviation from ideal behavior. Cause of deviations. The cause of deviations from ideal behavior, it is due to two faulty assumption of kinetic theory of gases. I have already told, due to two faulty assumption of kinetic theory of gases, ideal gases, real gases deviates from ideal behavior. Okay, so the cause of deviation from ideal behavior, it is due to the two faulty assumption of kinetic theory of gases, particularly not valid at high pressure and low temperature. And the faulty assumption are: volume occupied by gas molecule is negligible as compared to total volume of the gas. This is faulty assumption. Volume occupied by the gas molecules is negligible as compared to the total volume of the gas. And second faulty assumption is there is no attractive forces between the gas molecule. Okay, and I have told that you cannot neglect the volume of the gas compared to total volume of the gas or total volume of the container. And there are some force of attractive forces also exist among the gas molecule. Okay, and after correcting or after correction these 2 points, we will get van der Waals equation for real gas. Van der Waals equation. So after volume and pressure correction, van der Waals obtain the following equation for n mole gas. For n mole real gas, the van der Waals equation is P plus n square A by V square into V minus Nb is equal to nRT. This is real gas equation or van der Waals equation for 1 mole for n mole real gas. And we know for ideal gas the gas equation is Pb is equal to nRT. But for real gas, the gas equation is P plus n square A by V square into V minus Nb is equal to nRT. And for 1 mole real gas, the equation is, the van der Waals equation is P plus A by V square into V minus B is equal to RT. This is for 1 mole. This equation, second equation, is for 1 mole real gas. 1 mole real gas. Okay, and the previous equation is for n mole real gas, the van der Waals equation. And here you can see there are two different constant, small a and small b. Small a and small b are two different constant, and these are known as van der Waals constant. Small a and small b, these are known as van der Waals constant. Okay, and the term a is related to the force of attraction among the gas molecules. Okay, and the term b, the constant b, is related to the size of atom or volume of the atom or molecules. Okay, so that constant a and b, a is the magnitude of attractive forces between the gas molecules. You know that gas molecules have some force of attraction, and the measure of force of attraction is van der Waals constant A, and B is the excluded volume or co-volume, which is 4 times of actual volume of gas molecules. Okay, so B is related to size of molecules. Higher the value of B, higher is the size of gas molecule. Okay, and small value of B means small size of gas molecules. And second, A is the magnitude of attractive forces between gas molecules. B is the magnitude of attractive forces between the gas molecules. If value of A is high, then you can say the attractive force of attraction between the gas molecule will be high if value of A is high. So these two are significance of van der Waals constant small a and small b. Okay, you have to remember the significance of van der Waals constant a and b. Okay, and here it is also mentioned that greater the value of A, greater the value of A, greater the strength of van der Waals forces, and greater is the is with which the gas can be liquefied. Those gases which have high value of van der Waals constant A can be easily liquefied. Now see unit of van der Waals constant. You have to remember the unit of van der Waals constants also. Van der Waals constant small a and small b. Unit of van der Waals constant small a is atm liter square per mole, mole to the power minus 2. Unit of van der Waals constant. Van der Waals constant A is related to pressure, pressure term. So unit of A can be calculated like this. Okay, so unit of A is equal to atm liter square per mole, atm liter square mole to the power minus 2, and unit of B will be liter per mole, liter per mole. So you have to remember the unit of van der Waals constant A and B and their significance, and the van der Waals equation for n mole real gas or van der Waals equation for 1 mole real gas. All this you have to remember. Now see liquefaction of gases and and critical point. Liquefaction of gases, new topic. Liquefaction of gases and critical point. Okay, the phenomenon of conversion of a gas into liquid is known as liquefaction. The liquefaction of gas take place when the intermolecular forces of attraction becomes so high that exist in liquid. Okay, and how to liquefy a gas? A gas can be liquefied by increasing pressure and by decreasing temperature. A gas can be liquefied by increasing pressure and decreasing temperature. And I have told that for those real gases value of A is high, and for these gases intermolecular force of attraction is also high, and these gases can be easily liquefied. Okay, and for those gases value of van der Waals constant A is less, they cannot be easily liquefied. Now see critical temperature, important term, critical temperature. What is critical temperature? It is denoted by Tc. Critical temperature, it is denoted by Tc, and it may be defined as the temperature. Critical temperature is the temperature above which no gas can be liquefied. Is the critical temperature is the temperature above which no gas can be liquefied. Okay, so to liquefy a gas, first you have to decrease the temperature of the gas below its critical temperature. First you have to reduce, or you have to decrease the temperature of the gas below its critical temperature. For example, carbon dioxide has critical temperature 31.1 degree Celsius. This is the critical temperature of CO2, carbon dioxide. So if you want to liquefy carbon dioxide gas, first you have to decrease the temperature of carbon dioxide below 31.1 degrees Celsius. Okay, and after reducing the temperature below its critical temperature, then you have to apply pressure, and there is a formula of calculation of critical temperature for different gases. The formula is Tc, critical temperature is equal to 8A by 27 Rb. Okay, where A is, A and B are van der Waals constant, and the values of A and B are different for different gases, and you can calculate the value of critical temperature for different gases using the formula Tc is equal to 8A by 27 Rb. Now see critical pressure. Critical pressure, like critical temperature, it is critical pressure which is expressed, which is denoted by Pc. Critical pressure is denoted by Pc. At critical temperature, the pressure needed to liquefy a gas is known as critical pressure. At critical temperature, the pressure needed to liquefy a gas is known as critical pressure, and it is denoted by Pc is equal to A by, critical pressure can be calculated. Critical pressure of a gas can be calculated by using the formula Pc is equal to A by 27 B square, where A and B are two constant, Van der Waals constant, which are different for different gases. So how to calculate critical pressure? Critical pressure Pc is equal to A by 27 B square. And now see critical volume. So critical temperature, critical pressure, critical volume, these are critical parameter. Critical volume, which is represented by Vc, and the what is critical volume? The volume occupied by 1 mole of gas at its critical temperature and critical pressure is known as critical volume. The volume occupied by 1 mole of a gas at critical temperature and critical pressure is known as critical volume. Okay, so you have to remember the definition of critical temperature, critical pressure, and critical volume. Okay, and one more important term, and here it is given what is the value of critical volume of a gas. Vc is equal to 3V, 3 into Van der Waals constant B. Okay, and now the last point, Boyle's temperature. Boyle's temperature. What is Boyle's temperature? It is denoted by TB. It is denoted by TB. Boyle's temperature. The temperature at which a real gas exhibits ideal behavior for considerable range of pressure is called Boyle temperature. The temperature at which a real gas behaves as ideal gas is known as Boyle temperature. Okay, in simple word, the temperature at which a real gas exhibits ideal behavior for considerable range of pressure is called its Boyle temperature, and value of Boyle temperature is different for different gases. Okay, and the Boyle temperature can be calculated by using this formula. Boyle temperature TB is equal to A by RB or BR, A by RB. So you have to remember this definition of critical temperature, critical pressure, critical volume, Boyle temperature, and these are critical parameters are different for different gases, and these critical parameter depends on the nature of gas and how to liquefy a gas. First you have to decrease the temperature of the gas below its critical temperature, and then you have to apply pressure. Okay, and Van der Waals equation, value of unit of Van der Waals constant A and B, all of these you have to remember. And what is compressibility factor? What is the value of compressibility factor for ideal gas and for real gases? Okay, and how many types of deviations are there from ideal behavior for real gases? Okay, and the deviation can be shown by Z versus P plot or Z versus P graph. Okay, so thank you students, and this chapter is completed.